Okay, people. So, boy, I put it in my Netflix list the other week when it dropped, right? And man, like I couldn't, you know what I mean? You know, sometimes a film comes and you might not know a whole heap about it, right? But you know that you need to hold that, right? That you can't, you don't want to rush that shit. You know what I mean? Don't want to jump on it straight away. You need to make sure you've got the right time so you can absorb it. Right. And yeah, that was the case with Really Love. You know, I was just like, I do not, I know I want to watch this film, man. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I don't want to rush it. You know what I mean? I don't want to. I don't want to watch it and miss anything. You know, I want that stuff to pass over my head. You feel me? So yeah, I gave it a little time, and now I've watched it, and god damn, god damn, whoo! I felt that, people. I felt that. All right, so yeah, let's get into these details. All right, so it is the feature debut from Angel Kristi Williams. Um, Now the screenplay is from Felicia Pride, and this is her feature debut feature screenplay. You feel me? Now, the weird thing is, like on Wikipedia, it says that they both wrote the piece, but then later on, it says that Pride, you know what I mean, showed Williams the screenplay and was like, "I'd like you to make my film." So now maybe Williams added some stuff, right? And so she gets a writer's credit. I don't know. But yeah. But yeah, Williams, she also produces the film along with Aaliyah Williams, Kim Roth, Charles D. King, Mel Jones, Poppy Hanks, Sanford Grimes, Letitia Fortune, Kim Coleman, and Stephanie Elaine. The cinematography, pardon me, cinematography is from Sean Peters. It's edited by Stephen Priston and Brian Ulberg. Yeah. So the weird thing is, it seemed to hit everywhere else in August, but it's only just come to Netflix in the UK. Which is crazy because, yeah, a lot of the spots it hit in August were in Europe. So I don't know why it took so long to come to the UK, but hey, I'm glad it did. Very glad it did. All right, so the gist of the film, people, is this. It's set in contemporary Washington, D.C. A rising black painter strives to break into the competitive art world while balancing a bittersweet romance he never expected with an ambitious law student. So yeah, that's the gist of the film, right? And it's funny, man. Like, there's these stories, that, you know what? No, my bad. I just realized I'm an idiot. Okay, so our cast, right? We have Isaiah, who's played by Isaiah Maxwell, I should say, played by Kofi Siriboe. right? He's our artist. And Stevie, Stevie, she is yeah, she's our law student, Stevie Solomon. And you know, she is played by Yootha Wong-Loi-Sing, right? Who I can't put my finger on where I've seen her. I know I've seen her in enough things, right? So Stevie's dad is played by Blair Underwood. That's Jerome. And her mother, Anne, is played by Suzanne Douglas. Her cousin, Cicely, is played by Naturi Norton, right? Yeah, so Isaiah, he's now, okay, I'm gonna have to go somewhere else because I don't have full information here, which is always just very bad. Hey, okay, let's so Isaiah's mother, Regina, is played by Maria Broom, right? He's got a sister, Claudette, played by Dominic Cooper. And he's I know his dad was up in the piece, but I'm not quite sure who played his dad. Oh, his dad was played by J. Arthur E. Brooks and Isaiah Sr. All right. We have Isaiah's his best friend Nick, who's played by Tristan McWilds, and Nick's girlfriend, Chene, who's played by Uzu Uduba. Right. I have Anne, who is played. We did the Anne. Mecca, Jarima, who's played by Jade Estata. Yusuf Davis, a well-known painter, is played by Michael Ealy. You know what I mean? People. Man. Yeah, they're our main cast. And as I said, listen, there's these stories that, you know what I mean? Like, listen, we know the beats, right? We know the beats. And sometimes these things, you watch them and they're fine, right? They're fine. But then sometimes you watch something and it just ingrains itself in you. You know what I mean? You just feel it. And yeah, it's one of those things, man. Like you just this first meeting, right? So you see them both out having fun, they're enjoying, and then when they cross paths, right? And you see, they exchange glasses, and Isaiah comes over and he drops some, some lines trying to get, that introduction. But it's that connection that you see, right? It doesn't feel forced, right? That, I think that's the magic of this piece. Like everything felt real, right? It felt like conversations that you may have had, days out that you may have had, conflicts that you may have come up against. You know what I mean? And it just resonates with you, right? It's just like, whew. You know what I mean? Like at the very beginning, and he walks her home, right? Walks her home. And then it's that first goodbye, but you know you want to ask a question because you're just like, oh man, we've spent hours together, but we don't want this shit to end right now, even though it's ending right now. So it's just like, how can this move forward? You know what I mean? So it's just like, you'd be like, all right, bye. And then you kind of linger and it's just like, you know what I mean? You walk around, you'd be like, all right, so, hey, I was just wondering. You know what I mean? And it's just the way it was all delivered. I mean, because it's not rushed and you do it slow because it's just like, is this going to work? Bum, bum, bum. And there. And then it goes, right? And what I really liked was then the next day. You know what I mean? The next day. Because you understand the situation here. He's an artist. At this point, he's not selling shit, but he's talented. But that means he's broke, right? So the second day, it was a date that reflected the economic means, but it was still a fly day, right? And that's what you do. You know what I mean? That's what you do. You put together a situation that is, there's fire, right? That you know they're gonna dig, but it's like, okay, I can't destroy my budget. You know what I mean? Because if I do that, then the next date has to be on a level, and I can't afford to do that. But I like this person, so I need to show them that I'm not a waste of time. And then he put together a fine little date, right? And you feel that you be like, all right, yeah. And it was nice. And because you think, yes, I've done that, man. I've done that. Right. So you're watching this film and you're just like, it's just resonating. It's popping. It's popping. And then you just, it's like, but then the problem with stuff like this is it resonates. You know what I mean? It is you feel it. Because then you start thinking about some of them situations, right? Think about some of those motherfucking situations, and it's just like, God damn it, right? And yeah, you'd be like, fuck, man, I'm a single motherfucker. You know what I mean? But yeah. It's just these moments were just so nice and so real, but you know what I mean? We also saw them in their elements, right? Him painting, her killing it in the law room, right? In the court, in the law room, in the motherfucking law, in the court. We saw her do a thing. So we understand what their aim is. You know what I mean? What they're striving for, which is a problem, right? Because you understand that both of these things take work, right? Both take a lot of work, a lot of commitment, determination, perseverance, and sacrifice. Now, a relationship can last, right? It can persevere, but there needs to be that equal level of compromise, right? You got to have each other's back like that. And so, yeah, that's the thing. The film is going, and then you are seeing, it's all nice, right? It's those exchange glances, it's those hugs, it's those fleeting kisses, it's that hand holding when, you're just feeling that moment, right? But you then start to see how, as success is coming, you start to let something slide. You start to let something slide. And it's the arguments, man. And you'd be like, yo, son, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? I'm like rolling my eyes at the TV. I'm like cussing at the TV. right? And you find yourself like, yo, I know this is a film. Why am I so invested in this shit, man? Like, why am I like, boom, you know? And that's when you know a film gets you because you are like trying to talk to these made up characters. You're trying to be like, yo, don't do that. What are you doing? All right, listen, I understand, but just give them that time because they gave that time to you. Come on, which is insane. You know what I mean? It's just lucky I live alone because I'm looking like a crazy motherfucker. You feel me? But it's just, yeah. It just it felt so just perfect. You know what I mean? Like when you think about other films, when you think about other films that have hit like that. I remember in 2019, right? 2019 and the BFI London Film Festival. And we got the I think it was 2019. Yeah, it was 2019. No, it wasn't last year. And Rashad Esterno Green, right? Remember he's Premature, which is so good. And man, like at the time, I don't think he had distribution, and then it hit. Then he made the deal with Hulu, and now it's on Netflix as well. And people, if you have not seen Premature, you need to see Premature because again, it's one of them. It's that one of those stories that you've seen that story, but it hits you, man. Hits you. You know what I mean? And it's just handled so well, right? It's handled so well, and you just feel those situations, right? You've been in those situations, right? Maybe not quite some of them situations, you know what I mean? Well, I don't know. If you didn't use protection and shit just didn't go right, then maybe, Phil. But hey, and listen, I know it's shit. I'm not sure if it's on my site. It might be on the Anchor site though, right? It might be on my Anchor site. So you should go because we had the conversation with Green, and it was a good conversation, man. But yeah, it's these stories, right? So this film made me think of Premature. It made me think of Love Jones, right? Love and Basketball. It made me think of Sylvie's Love. Amazon. We spoke. It dropped at Christmas time last year. We spoke about that one. That's definitely on the website. You know, and yeah, these films because these films, right? These films are like honest films. These films portray the relationship, the beat of the relationship, those intimate moments. And they do it with that rawness. They do that with that authenticity that you feel in your motherfucking soul. You know what I mean? Feel it in your soul. And it's like, man, like the acting in this film. The acting in this film was so good. Cebu and Wong-Loi-Sing. As I said, look, they felt like they were in love. It's like just the intimate moments in the film, just all of these. It just had this power, this electricity to it. And I don't mean in a weird way, people. Right? What I mean it's just those connections, right? You felt that connection, really did. Like everyone really just gave superb performances. I loved the score. The score was fantastic, and it worked so well. The art was great. Loved the art. right? It reminded me of shit, an exhibition that I saw at the Tate, right? At the Tate. Man, oh gosh, it was maybe like a decade ago, man. Chris and yeah, his art is just sensational. People, if you have not seen his art, yo, you need to see his art. But it just reminded me of that, right? And just those times, just walking around a gallery with a significant other, and those situations, and just that enjoyment, and it was all there, right? So I saw, I saw a piece, right? I saw a piece, and it was like fans hate the ending, and I was like, yo, what are you talking about, right? What are you talking? I love the ending, right? I love the way they ended this film because you know, I listen. If it had ended in one way, it kind of looks a little corny, right? Now, it could end with her slapping him, which you'd be like, yo, and you all understand when you watch the film, right? But that moment, that moment at the end, like it works so well. Works so well because, right? Life doesn't always happen right on camera, right? Life works in those moments in between, right? It's the cracks in the pavement, and that's what this be. You know what I mean? So it's just like, what happens next? Do they, or does it not? Right? And I feel that's the beauty of the ending because there's so many possibilities here. There's so many possibilities because so much has happened. You know what I mean? So much has happened. And you'd be like, man. So yeah, the ending works so well. Like, in a way, I'm kind of frustrated at some parts. You know what I mean? Well, I'd say one part, really. It's just the obligatory 1 year later. Right? 1 year later. And I get it. I get it. But and I tell you why, uh, you know what I mean? It frustrates me at times because you know that when in certain situations, right, although the communication lines might be down, there's going to be a song that comes on that will remind you of shit, right? You will see a color, smell something. Some days you might, man, just cook something or step in a certain place in your house in a certain way, and it's just going to remind you, right? There's these things that you know yeah, because it's like you create these postcards, right? These memory postcards, and yeah, that's what hits you. That's what will hit you throughout that year. Maybe not in the first month, maybe not in the first week, right? But there'll be times, and especially when you think, you know what, fuck that person, and then suddenly, boom, it all flashes back, right? You get hit by something, and it flashes back, and you're like, oh. Sometimes it's just seeing another fucking couple holding hands and doing all of that shit, and you'd be like, oh man, I remember when, you know, and so I get the jump. I get when the films do the jump, but sometimes you want to see some of those moments because then it makes the other stuff that follows even more powerful, But it's not to say it wasn't, because this, yeah, people, I love this shit. I love this shit, So I just highly, highly recommend you go and see Really Love. Say go and see it. It's on Netflix, people. Just press the motherfucking button. You know what I mean? Press the motherfucking button. Put it in your list for sure. Put it in your list and watch it because it's just gonna make you feel. You know, it's gonna make you feel, and it might not always be good, right? Because it might make you think about past shit, right? Might make you think about the ones that got away. Even if it's not like a one that got away, it is still gonna dredge through your feelings, right? It's still gonna dredge through your feelings, but it will end with making your heart sing, with making your soul feel warm. And that's the beauty of a great story. A well put together story, even though it's a story that, yes, we've essentially seen it before, but with this twist to it, right? With this unique slant. And as a debut feature, yo, Williams and Pride have excelled. The cast excelled, just the whole crew excelled, because Really Love is just really legit, people. So, yo, make your soul happy and put it into your life. All right.